I'm in the land of 10,000 variables, which of course this is the Cove. Welcome back to Indian Trace. I appreciate everybody being here. It's an honor, really, to try to make this kind of effort and look at this countryside. Central North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina, nice pond down there. I am in the land of 10,000 variables every step. The way your eyes see things, magnificent signature tree here. The way your eyes see things when you're out on a hunt makes it the land of 10,000 different variables. A little bit of wind here, so hopefully we won't get blown out on the audio. It's nice. About 55 degrees out here. Of course, as you can see, absolutely beautiful countryside. Join the hunt here with Indian Trace. I am, first of all, sorry that so many that I know that subscribe have to deal with pain. My goodness, have to deal with the disruption of their health. Life, right? Trials and tribulations that we have to go through, and don't think I'm indifferent to them. That's why I make an effort to make these. At this moment, I haven't found anything. Well, I found a couple nice pieces of pottery, a piece of soapstone that I'll show you in a bit. But I'm going to finish out here, and I know I have maybe 10, 15 more minutes, and just move along and let you join the hunt with me. And as we go along, we'll probably find some pottery. I am in a pottery place. There's a piece of work stone, piece of rhyolite. You can see here, this is cotton, forgotten about, long harvested cotton. Good stuff, though, here at the Cove. Now, I will remind you this. Last time we were at the Cove, I did join the hunt with Indian Trace. And I hope this focus is coming in. I'm trying to look at the same time I'm filming this. I did a join the hunt with Indian Trace when we found right down there smoking. And it's 10,000 variables. I mean, your eye does not see everything with all this crap shredded all over the place. We found a smoking Guilford Round, rhyolite, two-toned. Remember that? Some of you do. If you're new to tuning into Indian Trace, I just want to thank everybody. I've been receiving, and it's getting windy out this way, away from the wooded area. I've been receiving a lot of really great feedback, quality feedback. It's different than, making a YouTube channel where you're just broadcasting BS and stupidity. And people like to watch that stuff. I mean, if you have an appetite for that, you're just as bad off. But I figured I would continue to move forward and broadcast some quality stuff. Actually hunting for North American Indian artifacts. Now, I hear the wind blowing. So, forgive me if this audio is not coming in. But hang in there. We'll have times of quietness, times when the conversation can be right. Listen, I want to say this. I had a thought come by me about collecting. And the whole phrase recovery specialist came up. Now, I'll put it this way. Richard, if you're on YouTube and you sort of did a little searching about collecting artifacts or arrowheads or whatever, it could be scrapers, it could be hammerstones, because you see, a hammerstone carries a lot more spiritual weight, a lot more heart than a certain projectile point, or any projectile point for that matter. A scraper, well made, well loved, carries a whole lot more significance than an arrowhead. Now, Richard is a recovery specialist. Now, a lot of you out there that are collecting and collectors or follow this channel, you're gonna understand where I'm going to when I say this stuff. Flintsball is a recovery specialist. The Ditchwalker is a recovery specialist. I might say Indian Trace is a recovery specialist, but I don't think I find enough. And I don't put enough stock in how well I find artifacts. I just do my best. But I'm going to promise you, you can relate with me saying that what we do if we collect artifacts is we look to recover. Some out there, without a question, are recovery specialists. And it's fun to watch them. It's fun to tune in and see what they find. When it comes to digging, Richard is an absolute recovery specialist. When it comes to finding artifacts in the ditches, the ditch walker, he's a recovery specialist. When it comes to finding them out in the fields and knowing the conditions, well, Flintsball's a recovery specialist. And I really am thankful for them as well, for the inspiration they've given me. And I've said this, and my story is this. I would have never posted one video for YouTube unless I really first started making them just to capture the possibilities of what you could find out there and be able to film it live for the future for my sons. And then my little one came up and said, Dad, you know, there's a lot of people that might want to see that. So that's where that story went. Now, as we look around out here at different stuff, I check everything. Well, at least I think it's everything, and it's not really, as many people know. A lot of work stone out here. I see a lot of teeny pottery, but I don't collect it all, that's for sure. Towards this tree right here is just a hot little hump, if you know what I mean. And there tends to be a lot of good pottery out here. I might find some. I don't expect to find a stellar artifact. Now, I hope I do when you're on here, and it could happen. I mean, I'll tell you what, it'll happen, as you know. But just today, with the beautiful weather here, some of you are under snow. I know where I'm from, in upstate New York, they got hammered again with a ton of snow. Not here. Breeze is nice, 55 degrees. It's worth coming out here. It's better than sitting somewhere and watching TV, eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for half an hour while you take a lunch, or an hour, whatever it is. It's better. Listen, I want to share this thought for a political interest thought today, and it is dynamic. It's been changing my life to do more, to press myself to learn more, to understand more before I make a belief, before I become persuaded about a political view or a policy or anything going on in the world of geopolitics. Now, there is a political interest link that I'm going to put on there today that is from Crosstalk. And Crosstalk is most every single time very dynamic, because it is a council of people from usually about 4 different regions, 4 different nations, Europe as well as United States of America, as well as Syria or Europe or Belgium. And the professionals on there, the political analysts, have a huge amount of more depth, practicality, understanding about geopolitics than Western journalists, if you could call them that, or people here in the West have ever thought about having. And I know I am, well, I hate to say it, educated here in the West and in the colleges and what the colleges here have here to offer, which is not always the best. Looking at stones as we move along here. And I don't mean to talk down to it. The United States of America, in my opinion, still is exceptional. The national idea of the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, is still exceptional. Although the individuals, and from the very first day until now, we've all had our struggles with faults and weaknesses that we've had to overcome in human nature. Every nation has had that. But the ideals of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that all men are created equal and are endowed with their Creator with certain unalienable rights, is phenomenal in the world. And the world knows that. It knows that. We don't have to convince them. They know that freedom afforded the world with incredible things. But this political interest link that I'm going to put today is the fantastic discussions of minds that you'll just sit back and I believe you'll begin to admire, because you'll be like, how come in the West we don't think about politics like this, like they're talking about? How come we don't consider and put things in the balance as these individuals who are discussing even our nation, even our leadership do. How come? And I challenge yourself just to watch it and just try to get a perspective of how people who come from nations who are 4,000 years old, I mean, come on, we're 250 years old as a nation, and we think we hung the moon. It just so happened that God in his providence and because of freedom afforded us the ability to be inventors, afforded us the ability to bring the Industrial Revolution to the world. But that was providence. That was the blessing of God. No different than the providence of God now. Look at the size of that piece of pottery. That's a keeper for me. There's a piece of pottery, see? Now I'm rambling on, but it's true. The providence of God, that's a nice piece of pottery. That's what I call keeper size. If it's a $50 size or bigger or whatever, or a quarter, I'll usually keep them. That's a nice piece of pottery, as you can see. But as I was saying, people sell it short because they decide they're going to live a life that is godless, a life where they don't believe in creative design for themselves or for how everything, plants and animals and everything exists, and how everything has its own creative expression. So they just decide God doesn't exist, and they make of themselves, if you will, a God. They become a God unto themselves and then presumptuously sit on the throne as if they are responsible for all of this. For all of this. And then some. How stupid is that? Anyway, I'm not going down the road without road anymore, but listen, check out the political link. It's called Crosstalks, and RT puts it out, and I found it to be exceptional. Now, either I'm absolutely crazy, or you listen to it for yourself, and you will see, you will get more grounded. You will get more blessed, I think. You'll get more touched, and you'll ask yourself, how come those who are supposed to be journalists, who are supposed to be analysts of what's going on, it's nice out here, isn't it? How come here in my nation, those that are supposed to have been doing the job don't do it? Because I'm listening to these guys and they have great thoughts. And they don't agree all the time. They disagree. But at the same time, they show us politically how human beings are supposed to discuss things and even not agree all the time. Lord have mercy. The spoiled crybaby fits that people give just because you don't agree with what they believe. My Lord, have mercy, right? Anyway, we'll leave all that aside and get back into hunting just a little bit. I'm just going to finish right out here because I'm standing. I know if I dug right here, 18 inches down, I'd probably find 1,000 artifacts, no doubt. No question about it. But I just won't go down the road right now of really thinking about digging places up or getting permission from my friends or whatever. I probably could, but I'm not going to go there. Digging is a lot of work. I give you kudos to those of you out there who actually dig. It's just crazy. It's a lot of work. A lot of work, and I'm not doing it. All right, let me check my time. Okay, good time. I'm bringing you around here, and you're just joining the hunt with Indian Trace. Anyway, what else could I share today? Lots of thoughts came in. Lots of thoughts about collecting artifacts and about finding things. And I think the rhythm of Join the Hunt with Indian Trace is touching a lot of people. I mean, from here to California. Even private notes that have been sent to me. Not just about the hunt, but about the comments politically. You know, what else can I share for modern stuff? I will throw and continually refresh my political interest folder. That's another thing. If you really get an appetite and you really get going and you want to learn some more, jump into that folder, because that's where I pull links that I actually highlight on my political interest link. That's where I pull them from. But those are the ones that I feel are particularly influencing. Not change what I believe, but they also do things like confirm what I already believe, and they also do things like inspire me to give me assurance that I'm not just crazy. There's a channel that I have listed under the channels that I subscribe to that is Inessa S, and I encourage you. She speaks fluent Russian, and she's an American, I believe. I've got that right. But her posts are specifically covering the details of Russian government and Vladimir Putin. So she covers the details of his news briefings, his broadcasts, his meetings, his foreign affairs secretary, and then she, of course, as you might have seen already, interprets it. But it's profound. It's profound to hear the mind of a leader that from the West here, and I don't blame them, because our Western journalism, if it's ABC, NBC, CBS, National Public Radio. Now, I know it upsets a lot of people. I hope some of my relatives listen. Listen, it's complete propaganda. If you listen not just to I'm talking to leaders that disagree with one another. How about Netanyahu and Putin? How about Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin together? How about the president of many different places, in many minds, and the meeting of all those minds to understand, and they all say one thing, that Western journalism is dead and present lies. And you know, here on Indian Trace, you know I often speak about it. I often speak against it because it is a pitiful thing. But what I have found most refreshing is to be able to get a true grasp of what world leaders think and how they feel, and the stability of their patience and their tenacity amidst Western journalism. Now, I agree with many people that journalism is dead in terms of Western perspective. They used to control the narrative, and they got so high and so arrogant on controlling the narrative that it's destroyed them. It's destroyed their lives. It's destroyed the way they think. I'm flipping stones as we go. And you know, that's sad. I don't want anybody destroyed, but they are arrogant. And listen, here's the bottom line. They have doubled down. You name the newspaper, national newspaper, or newspapers in the North or New York, you name the articles and how, it should be a dead giveaway for the amount that they absolutely harp down and hammer down on our president, Trump. Come on. No one can be that big of a demon or buffoon. And if you look at him and the decisions he makes in terms of what you believe in life and what you want for your children, in terms of safety and security and economy and jobs, you're going to have a little bit of imposition to not see the blatant, disrespectful, biased. Now the alternative media, which includes myself, which includes many great journalists, are completely overwhelming them with truth that the American public is standing up and getting an appetite for. I'll leave it at that. All right. Let's keep going. Maybe we'll lift something up. Maybe not. We're just about done. I'm just sort of squirreling around here, sharing a little bit. Oh, well. Listen, some days you come out, I think more than some days. And as I tell people, they see a lot of great artifacts tuning in Indian Trace. And I used to never film at all unless I came across an artifact that was really awesome. And that's the only thing I'd ever film, and I wouldn't film anything else. But here, it's just the virtue of being able to get out, being able to enjoy a little bit, and walk along. And now, as I close in my final minutes, final thoughts. Number one, I hope everybody is having a decent Monday. I don't mind Mondays at all. Is having a decent week. And only one day's passed. But I think I've said plenty, enough. And I don't want to get going on another thought about it all. It's worth considering. And the only thing I could honestly hope is that when people listen, they don't say, oh my gosh, here he goes again. Oh my goodness. I only would hope that you would seriously consider what I've said. And as the scripture says, the Lord will give you understanding of all things. The thing that I think holds down every thought and every belief and persuasion that I have is I look for the signatures in leaders across the world, including our own, of humility. And what I think a lot of people will be hard-pressed to admit about Donald Trump or about Putin or about Netanyahu is that they're all extremely humble men. Their confidence comes in what they believe that their nation should be, the protections that their nation should have, and the benefits that their nation should give the people in that nation. Here, it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. Thank you for joining the hunt. Hey, no apologies about not finding a smoker, but listen, give you just an idea, a feeling of being able to get out, that might be worth it. Talk to you soon.